very pleasant day to you, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to give you a few tips on how to be a successful landlord. I'd like to start by saying this. Don't let anyone tell you that you should never own rental properties. The best way to accumulate and grow wealth is through investing, and one of those investment options is real estate. If this is something that you are interested in, go ahead and buy the property. If it doesn't work out, someone will buy the property from you. There are investors out there who are on the hunt continuously for investment properties. Please note that if the property happened to be in a community with a homeowners association or a condo association, find out about the rules for renting. The majority of these communities do have rules, so please find out before you buy. Some do not allow rentals, and some have restrictions like waiting 1 year, 2 years, or even 3 years before you can rent. So do your due diligence before signing a purchase contract. The next point that I want to make is this. Leave other people's horror stories alone. Just because it happened to another person does not mean that it is guaranteed to happen to you, so don't let that deter you. If anything, learn from it so you'll know some of the things that you should watch out for. Real estate can be a very, very good investment, but you have to do some homework before jumping in. Just like any other investment, educate yourself, be aware, and be informed. You are not going to know everything. Some of what you learn, it is the tenant who will actually teach it to you, and I will explain this further into this video. Next point, tenants are not all bad people. There are lots of good, decent, clean people out there who just want a place to live and to be left alone to live their lives. Your job as a landlord is to learn about what could potentially go wrong and how to avoid them. Remember, this is your business, which will be providing you with residual income while resulting into increased equity and generational wealth. So learn how to deal with people, be courteous, be polite, be respectful, but also be firm. Another point is this. If you think that being a landlord is not for you, do not let that stop you. Buy the property and hire a property management company or a real estate agent to do the work for you. They will take care of everything and deposit your money into your account every month. This does not mean that you should not take an interest in your investment. Show an interest by communicating with the property manager, especially if it is someone that you do not know. Don't be too trusting. Things can happen or not happen. For those of you who will manage your properties yourselves, here are a few important tips. Number 1, you'll need a lease. All the terms of the rental agreement and the rules should be laid out in writing on the lease and signed by all parties involved. An unsigned lease is not a lease. There is no agreement between you and the tenant. So make sure that it is signed and dated by all parties. Number 2, you'll need to have a 3-day notice. If the tenant is late and you are not hearing from them, this could be the beginning of trouble. Deliver your 3-day notice and keep a copy just in case you have to file an eviction. Number 3, you need to have a 7 or 10-day notice, and this is used to inform the tenant to fix any lease violations. And number 4, you'll need a notice of inspection. Whether you are inspecting every 6 months or every year, you'll need to give notice. But please note, you do need to have an inspection. It is critical. Here are a few suggested things that you should not do as a landlord. Number 1, don't be a greedy landlord, and I do mean that in a good way. Charge a reasonable rent based on the market. If there are lots of properties on the market for rent, dip your rent a little so your property is not sitting empty for too long. Let's use this as an example. The going rate for a 1-bedroom is $1,000 per month. You want $1,100 per month. For every month that the property is sitting there waiting for that one extra $100, you are losing $1,000. So if the property sit for 6 months, you are going to lose $6,000 trying to get an extra $600 each month. Item 2, never rent without vetting. Have them fill out an application, pull the credit report, pull an eviction report, do a background check, verify employment, verify income, and get their ID. If you use a real estate agent to help you to find a tenant, then the agent will take care of all the vetting for you. Number 3, do not ignore the red flags. Again, you are running a business. Do not make your decisions based on how nice the person seems or how sad their story is. Remove the emotions and do not talk yourself into giving them a chance. They'll make you regret it. Number 4, do not spend all the rent. You need to put aside money for repairs and other expenses like your taxes and insurance. Number 5, if the rent is late, do not waive the late fee. It should be paid every time the rent is late. Stick with the terms of the lease, otherwise they will take advantage of you. Remember, work with your head and not to your heart. Number 6, never, never, never rent without collecting a security deposit. Number 7, renting to friends and family members could become very complicated and cause stress. So think carefully about this one. The relationship could go downhill very, very fast. Number 8, don't install high-end expensive appliances. This is your house, but it is not your home. There is a difference. Now, here are a few suggested things that you should be doing as a landlord. Number 1, please read the Landlord-Tenant Act for your state. Know your rights as a landlord, and most importantly, know the tenant's rights. You need to know what rights those tenants have, because it's going to work against you if you are not doing the right things. Number 2, be a hands-on landlord. Put in the lease that you will change the AC filter and you will do the pest control. This will give you the opportunity to enter the property and see what is going on inside. But you must give the tenant notice before you go there. Number 3, whenever the tenant calls for repairs, make sure you're there in person along with the repair person. This will also give you an opportunity to see what is going on inside. Number 4, do a thorough property inspection every 6 months and take care of any issues you find. This will prevent minor repairs from becoming major repairs. If you find things that the tenant need to address, give them a certain number of days to take care of the problem. This could be in the form of a 7 or a 10-day notice, and then go back for another inspection to make sure that everything is done. Number 5, put in your lease that the tenants should get renters insurance. This will protect you. Number 6, give a list of instructions and have the tenants sign to acknowledge that they have read and understand it. Examples of these instructions are how to clean a glass-top stove, how to keep the drain clean, not overloading the washing machine if there's one, how to clean the lint basket in the dryer if there is one, not to pour grease down the sink, keeping the driveway or the courtyard clean if applicable, keeping the bathrooms mold-free, using the dishwasher so it doesn't seize up. You would be surprised at some of the things that people truly do not know or understand. And number 7, please keep it professional. You are running a business. Enforce the terms of the contract and do everything in writing. Remember earlier I said that some things the tenant will teach you? Well, here are some examples. Let's start with tenant A. This couple had a large aggressive dog that they brought in after moving into the property. Everything seemed fine when we looked around. Then they started to struggle with the rent and moved out. This is what we discovered. The dog made numerous large holes in the walls throughout the house. He was very destructive. The tenants used 3-inch masking tape to hide the holes and used touch-up paint to paint over it. Most of the drywall had to be replaced. So what's the lesson here? Well, inspect your walls properly at every scheduled inspection. If there is an unapproved animal there, they should pay a separate deposit for the animal if you agree to let the animal stay. Now let's go to tenant B. This lady placed a pot with oil on the stove, then went to her bedroom and was so taken up with the cell phone that she forgot about the stove until the place was on fire. The kitchen, the dining room, and the living rooms were all damaged. When the fire trucks came, the unit below was damaged also from the water that was used to put out the blaze. The lesson from this is that the tenants should have renter's insurance, and the owner should also have insurance. If it's a house, you should have insurance on your house, or if it's a condo or townhouse, you need to have insurance on the interior. Let's go to tenant C. This lady kept downstairs in a decent condition. Nothing out of the normal was visible, so the normal inspection was not done upstairs. After a few years, she gave her 30-day notice and moved out. It was discovered that the 2 bathrooms upstairs were never cleaned. She moved because there was mold growing in the bathrooms. This woman never ever cleaned anywhere in any of the bathrooms. It was really bad. She lived and then moved to another unsuspecting landlord's clean house. They live until the place is unlivable and then move on to another clean house. The lesson here, do not let down your guard. Stick with the plan. Inspect everywhere, including under the sink in the kitchen, under the sinks in the bathrooms, and also inside the oven. And here we go. Tenant D. This lady gave the appearance of being very neat and clean. She was very meticulous. She even had issues with a nail hole in the wall. Everywhere had to be clean and spotless. Upon moving in, it was discovered that she was a very good actor. This woman had small children and large roaches. She packed up her roaches and moved right in with them, all of them. There were roaches everywhere. All the appliances were damaged beyond repair. This was discovered when she called and complained that the stove and the refrigerator were no longer working. She had no problem living with those roaches. They were crawling everywhere, and she was just fine cohabitating with them. The lesson here, honestly, this could not have been imagined. Nevertheless, make sure that you have an exterminator that you work with so you can call him in an emergency. And tenant E. Yes, tenant E. This guy was very, very good with paying his rent. He was a model tenant, keeping the outside of the house in impeccable condition, paying his rent on time, and never ever calling for any repairs. The owner of this house lived in another state and did not have a property manager, so there were no inspections done. There was a guy collecting the rent, but he did not know anything about property management. Well, the electricity consumption on this house was so high that it caught the attention of the light company. Law enforcement was alerted and they started to monitor the house. Well, it turned out that the tenant did not live there after all. He had gutted the entire inside of the house, installed water lines and special lighting, and turned it into a grow house. Can you guess what he was growing? Well, the lesson here is, do not skip the inspection. If the tenant keeps delaying and won't agree to an inspection date, it is a red flag. Something could be wrong. Let's move on to tenant F. This family was from another country and did not understand how to use the stove or the oven. They consumed a lot of roast meat and was placing the meat on the oven rack with nothing under it to catch the grease. Apparently this was done often and the grease was so thick inside the oven that it stopped working and could have burnt the house down. The stove had to be thrown out. So the lesson here is to make sure that they know how to use all the appliances and check the oven when you go for inspection. I do hope that you found this information helpful, and all the best with your rental property journey. If you need to buy, sell, or rent property in South Florida, please contact us.